Imagine a high-speed rail network so massive that it could wrap around the entire Earth, with thousands of kilometers to spare. A fleet of steel dragons, bulleting through mountains, floating over ocean bays, and blasting across frozen deserts at speeds over 350 kilometers per hour. 15 years ago, China had almost zero high-speed rails. Today, they operate over 4,000 active bullet train sets, controlling more than 70% of the entire world's high-speed rail network. While the rest of the world struggles to lay down a few hundred miles of track, China built a modern transportation miracle that defies engineering logic. Welcome back to Hidden Globe. Today, we are breaking down the mind-blowing scale of China's 4,000 bullet trains and how they pulled off the biggest infrastructure flex in human history. To understand the sheer magnitude of what China accomplished, we have to look back at the early 2000s. Back then, traveling across China meant slow, overcrowded trains crawling through the countryside. Journeys between major cities like Beijing and Shanghai took well over 15 agonizing hours. China's leaders realized that if they wanted to become a global economic superpower, they had to move people and move them fast. In 2008, China opened its first true high-speed line between Beijing and Tianjin just in time for the Summer Olympics. It was a 120-kilometer test run. What happened over the next decade wasn't just construction, it was an engineering blitzkrieg. China laid down over 45,000 kilometers of high-speed track in roughly 15 years. To put that into perspective, that's longer than the circumference of the Earth at the equator. If you combine the high-speed rail networks of Japan, France, Spain, and Germany, China's network would still dwarf them all combined. 4,000 fleet meet the steel dragons. Now, let's talk about the trains themselves. Because managing a fleet of over 4,000 active bullet train sets every single day is an operational nightmare that China turned into a masterclass. At the heart of this massive network is China's flagship train, the Fuxing Hao, or rejuvenation. Unlike earlier models that relied on European or Japanese technology transfers, the Fuxing was entirely designed and built in China, and it was built for pure, unapologetic speed. Running commercially at 350 kilometers per hour, 217 miles per hour, it is officially one of the fastest scheduled trains in daily operation on Earth. Every single day, these 4,000 train sets carry millions of passengers. During peak travel seasons, like the Lunar New Year, China's high-speed network moves over 300 million people in a matter of weeks. That's equivalent to moving almost the entire population of the United States across a single country. Building 4,000 trains is one thing. Building the tracks for them to run across China's wild, dangerous terrain is another level entirely. China's engineers faced every geographical nightmare imaginable. The mountains in the southwestern mountainous regions. Engineers couldn't build flat tracks. Their solution? Build thousands of miles of elevated bridges and blast massive tunnels through solid rock. On some lines, over 80% of the entire route consists entirely of bridges and tunnels. Extreme cold. In the northeast, the Harbin-Dalian line operates in temperatures dropping below -40 degrees Celsius, using specialized heat-conductive tracks that resist deep freeze. Earthquake zones. Thousands of sensors line the tracks, linked to an AI control center that can automatically slam the emergency brakes on hundreds of trains simultaneously. If a seismic tremor is detected, the precision is so absolute that at 350 kilometers per hour, you can balance a coin on its edge or stack wooden blocks on your window table without them falling over. How did they afford it? And what's next? A project of this scale doesn't come cheap. China's high-speed rail network cost over $1 trillion to build, leaving the state-owned rail company with hundreds of billions of dollars in debt. So why keep building? Because for China, The rail system isn't just about ticket sales, it's an economic engine. It connects rural workers to megacities, boosts trade, cuts domestic flight emissions, and unifies the country's economy. And China isn't stopping at 45,000 kilometers. By 2035, they plan to expand the network to 70,000 kilometers. Not only that, but they are already testing the next generation of transport, Maglev trains that float on magnetic fields, aiming for commercial speeds of 600 kilometers per hour, cutting travel times between Beijing and Shanghai to under 2.5 hours. From a country with almost no high-speed rail 20 years ago to a nation running over 4,000 bullet trains daily, China's rail network is undoubtedly one of the greatest engineering marvels of the 21st century. Would you dare to ride a 600 kilometers per hour maglev train across China? Or do you think traditional air travel is still better? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into world-changing infrastructure, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to Hidden Globe for more mind-blowing stories from around the world. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next destination.